Hello, New School comic book reviews. Okay, let's just sort of jump into it. Let's start with Batman Incorporated number 7, written by Grant Morrison and art by Chris Burnham. Things are really picking up here. Previously, we of course learned that Talia al Ghul is behind the whole Leviathan thing. Talia, of course, is the daughter of Batman's greatest enemy. You know, they had a love affair. They produced Damian, who is Batman's son, who is now the current Robin. And yeah, stuff has really gotten very serious. Previously, Batman has asked Damian to sit out the rest of this particular mission, but everything goes bad. In this particular issue, Batman gets captured, um, and some bad things happen to a few of his lieutenants or whatever. Gotham City is chaos, and yeah, it's just a really gripping issue. We learn certain other things that are going on, and things are just coming to a head. It looks like things are going from bad to worse to even worser, and I'm sure it's going to get worse again. And I just really enjoyed this issue. It was quick, it was fast paced. We got a few plot twists along the way, and I'm really looking forward to the next issue. I was kind of getting, I don't want to say burnt out. That's not quite the right word, but before I read this issue, I was kind of thinking like, yeah, how long has this storyline been going on? Almost like a couple years, maybe not quite that long, but we've been on this Leviathan thing for a while now. But now, everything is coming to a head, and yeah, I really enjoyed this particular issue. So, definitely looking forward to the next one. Next we have Uncanny Avengers number 3, story by Rick Remender and art by John Cassaday. In this issue, basically we have the Red Skull. The Red Skull has somehow melded his mind with that of Professor Charles Xavier, and he now has telepathic and psychic powers, and he's using his powers to mind control people. He has Scarlet Witch and Rogue under his control, and he's basically just going out in public and getting normal humans riled up and hypnotized and having them attack random mutants in the street. And some of these people don't even know that they're mutants. Some people do, some people don't. But yes, it's chaos, it's a big riot, and the Uncanny Avengers, which is basically half Avengers and half X-Men characters, try to do what they can to stop it, I guess. Of course, the Red Skull also has his evil henchmen, causing even more problems. The story it's okay. It's just okay. I had real high hopes for this comic when it came out because I like the creators and I like all the characters, but me personally, just my personal subjective feeling, just a little underwhelmed by it all. I've seen Rick Remender write better comics. I've seen John Cassaday do better art. And it's not like it's bad. I wouldn't say any of it's bad. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of ho hum in a way. Let's see here. What else is interesting about the comic? There's a pretty fun. Well, I shouldn't say fun, but there's some interesting character bits in here with Captain America and Havoc. Havoc is the leader of this particular squad, but then you have Captain America kind of second guessing him a couple times, and Havoc's kind of like, hey, you know what? You wanted me the leader, so I'm leading. You either follow my instructions, or you take over if you think you can do a better job. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It gets a little bit confusing with the mind control stuff because some people are kind of under the mind control, then they're not under mind control, then they're mind controlled again. So I don't know. I do like the other bad guys just because they're just so far off and offbeat and weird looking. I like Goat Face Girl. I like the one guy, Honest John. It's kind of funny too because in the midst of all this chaos, he's always at the Red Skull's side, and he's like pouring him brandy or something. I don't know if it's brandy, but he's pouring him drinks and stuff like that. So it's kind of amusing. So yeah, on the whole, it's not a bad issue. It's just kind of it's underwhelming. I expected to be a lot better. Because I think everybody involved is talented, but it just didn't quite meet my expectations. Now, here's a comic I liked a lot more. No Adjective Avengers #4, written by Jonathan Hickman, and the art is by Adam Kubert. This one I liked a lot. I actually liked it even more than I liked the previous 3 issues. Basically, the team is kind of following up on some of the loose ends from the last adventure, and they're in the jungle or whatever, trying to track down traces of the I forget what they called it in the comic right now, but the little spores or bombs or whatever that the bad guys were using to remake the Earth. The team is kind of following up on that, and they run into some AIM scientists, and there's conflict there. We also get a backstory on a Hyperion, which was done in a pretty compelling yet at the same time pretty concise way. So yeah, it really worked. You got some solid art from Adam Kubert, and you see how you get a more of a sense here where how this particular issue, of course, works on its own, but it's part of a larger tapestry that you can kind of see hints of where Jonathan Hickman is kind of weaving there. You also get the feeling that I did kind of got the feeling that Hyperion is probably going to play a major part in this particular title, probably down the line a little bit. But yeah, I really liked it. Well paced, well scripted, some cool dialogue, and really cool art. So yeah, I like this comic a lot. And what else do we have? We have Hawkeye #7. Written by Matt Fraction, and the artist by Steve Lieber and Jesse Ham. This is a pretty interesting issue, and this particular issue actually has to deal with Hurricane Sandy. I'm sorry. It was split into 2 parts. You get, on one hand, you get Clint Barton's story, and then you get Kate Bishop's story. And I guess the way it works is Steve Lieber draws the Clint story, and Jesse Ham draws the Kate story. Clint's story basically is Clint going to help this guy who's going to go check on his dad because his dad refused to evacuate his house along with everyone else. And then Kate's story is what happens to her, where she goes to a wedding in New Jersey, and right then the hurricane hit, and yeah, they're pretty well written, issue here. Really poignant, it's kind of emotion filled without getting too sappy or too sentimental. You know what I mean? And it's just I think it strikes just the right tone. The art by Steve Lieber is pretty close to the style that we're used to with Steve Aja. So I really liked it. However, Jesse Ham, this is just a personal thing, just a subjective thing. I don't know. I wasn't quite feeling it. It's just a little bit too loose and just a little bit too sketchy for me. I mean, sometimes I like sketchy, scratchy art, but this one, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't working for me 100%. Decent layouts. You can definitely tell. Decent storytelling, I should say, visual storytelling. And you can definitely tell what's going on. It isn't cluttered or anything like that. But just on a personal level, there's something about it I wasn't feeling. What else here? Well, those are the only ones I read. I bought a few more comics. I got Black Beetle #1 from Dark Horse Comics, but I haven't read that. I've got Guarding the Globe #5 from Image, Glory 32 from Image, and Young Avengers #1. I kind of sort of skimmed through it, but I didn't really read it in detail. So I have to, read that one again. So I guess that's it. Oh, you know what? Something that a lot of people do that I haven't been doing is giving away the digital codes, and that's a real cool idea. So if you personal message me, let's see here, first person gets the digital code for let's do this. First person gets the digital code for no adjective Avengers #3. Next person gets no adjective #4. Next person gets Uncanny Avengers #3. And let me see, there is no digital code for Hawkeye, and they don't have a digital code for Young Avengers. Okay, and that's it. I got to thank you very much for listening. Thanks. Leave whatever comments you want, and have a great day.